what's up, funky funguses? This video is for the grow along, not the grow along, for the class, the multi-method mating course. What we've done, so just for context, so this is getting posted up on YouTube. What we've done, if you've watched the video on monokaryotization using a low nutrient LC and how you can actually grow monokaryons in an LC and easily isolate them with a small needle and some streaking technique. But if you haven't, you should go back and watch it. It's on my feed. I did give all that information to the public. But with this tech, is what we did is we grew monokaryotic cultures in LC the same way we did when we isolated the mons. But we didn't isolate the mons, but we did two different strains. So what we see here is, I know that I'm a little bit sporadic with shit, but 1, 2, and 3, those are Shakti. Those are all Shakti blue ravioli. I put them in the middle. And then on the original plate what I did is I put both of the monokaryotized isolates, so the Shakti and then tidal wave, which is on the outside here. I put both of those on a plate together after they had grown a bunch of mons and let them clamp together randomly and hope that we got a cross that happened somewhere in there. So that's what you're seeing now, is the transfer from the plate that I smashed the two isolates. That's these ones on the outside middle, right? You can see those now. And then the tidal wave is right here on the outside. So that's tidal wave for cuttlefish, potential new cross right here, and then blue ravioli, Shakti blue ravioli. Okay? So what I did is I'm showing you that you don't need a microscope to verify anything. You don't need any genetic sequencing to verify anything. You just need a little bit of common sense. So we'll go over here to a better photo. I believe right here. No, we got a better one somewhere else. Yep, right down here. I think that this is it. Is it? No. Oh man, I had a better one. I think this is it. That's not it either. Oh, it's down here. Okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie. Okay. So perhaps here. That's pretty good, but that's in the case. I think this is it. No? I think this is it. Here's what we're going to do is we're just going to go like this. So we get a clear picture. I don't like this one either. One sec. Alright guys, here we are. Here's the better picture. So, if we come over here, let me get out my pen. We're going to mark it up anyways. So, we come here, remember these were our blue ravioli, that Shakti. Really, really nice cut, okay? So, this is our Shakti. I don't know why it's being weird. Yeah, I'm doing something wrong, obviously. Oh, that's what's up. Okay. So, we got our Shakti. It's these three. Now, when you look at this isolate, it's one dikaryon, meaning that there's two sets of genetics that are going to make one set of genetics. Basically, we'll say just one set of genetics, though, so that it makes sense. You'll notice it's not fighting itself right here. It's almost like it's curving into itself, growing nice and fluid, right? And there's no visible sector there. That tells you that that's an isolate. Okay, and then you're gonna come down here to our potential new cross, which is right here, right? And here's the blue ravioli. You look at the sector that they form when they touch. That is not the same cross. That is not the same isolate. These are two different dikaryons. They have something in common in that they share one monokaryon, but it's not the same dikaryon. It's happy, it's compatible, it's chilling. This is the tidal wave. Okay? Look at this stuff. Oh, almost dropped my phone. Ah! Okay, sorry guys, having a rough day today. Look at this. It's almost like it starts to pull itself away. It's even throwing some ropes over there and kind of pulling itself away. You guys see that? It doesn't want to fight, and you can see right here, it gets all rough in the middle, right? It's a sector. They're not, looks like the tidal wave's kind of growing over it. It's kind of growing under it. And then maybe the tidal wave's attacking it a little bit. It's nothing the way like we were looking over here, right? Where it's just smooth and it wants to be together. It wants to hold hands. It wants to do the same thing because it is the same thing. It doesn't know the difference. It doesn't need to battle for its role in nature, right? So right here, visible sector. Right here, visible sector. So that tells you this one in the middle is not blue ravioli, and this one in the middle is not tidal wave. That's a pretty bad arrow. Is not tidal wave. I'm gonna do that better, hang on. There you go. It is a new cross. Now, come over here. What do we have over here? I see a potential new cross. Oh, right here. And I see a tidal wave. Potential new cross. Also right here, a potential new cross. And a tidal wave. I see them getting funky right here. They don't want to hang out. Well, oh, they're growing together right here. Look. So if you look at our potential new crosses, it's like they're getting close to each other and they're reaching. They're going to do the same thing that this blue ravioli did over here, right? Look at it over here with this tidal wave. Visible sector. Okay. Come over here. What do we have? We have, maybe I gotta get out of this photo. Just looking around, guys, just looking around. I see, this looks like, this piece right here looks like it was a piece of tidal wave. So it'd be like, let's go like this, TW. As you can tell, it's kind of just going back together. Looks like the same type of mycelium too. It's not fighting over here either. It's just, you know, observe your mycelium. Understand that your mycelium is going to behave certain ways in certain circumstances, like right now. And I was actually having a conversation with someone who jumped on my last post on here, trying to talk about this and that, and you can't see sectors when you're doing a diamond on a plate. And it's like, man, you know what? This dude was hating, right? He's hating on me. I told him, I said, you know, if you knew what you were doing, you would be able to tell what's going on your plate just by observing your mycelium and seeing how it behaves, okay? So right here is a potential new cross, I know that. This is a blue ravioli. This is a tidal wave. It's going to do the same thing, guys, because this is what usually happens when I do this, and I don't know why it happens this way, but I've observed it many times, okay? There's one new cross on the plate for some reason. I don't know why. So this is what I did, is I actually let the original plate grow out a little bit and waited till hyphal knots started forming. Once I saw maybe there was a spot where there was one big hyphal knot, I transferred that hyphal knot. That's why they're smaller pieces where the potential new cross is. I transferred those hyphal knots around the middle outer edge. So the one, they're in the center of the blue ravioli and the tidal wave. And then there was probably, you know, a patch of hyphal knots where there was a bunch of smaller ones, and there was maybe 2 or 3 medium ones. Where they're popping up with several knots like that, it's the same as if there was just one knot popping up. That whole area is 99% of the time going to be one dikaryon. Just because you have your first clone comes from a cluster, that cluster is still the same dikaryon. It's growing from a cluster, it's growing from a single dikaryon. There's not several dikaryons in that cluster, if that makes sense. There's one isolate still. So taking from those little hyphal knot clusters, I was ensuring that I was transferring an isolate each time so that some of it wasn't blue ravioli or some of it wasn't tidal wave, right? Or some of it wasn't a different cross that could have potentially happened during this process, because you see you have potentially 6 possible outcomes that could all happen at the same time when you're putting 2 monokaryotized dikaryons together on a plate, aka 4 monokaryons, okay? And let me explain that. So you have big A and you have little a. That represents dikaryon 1. You have big B and then little b. That represents dikaryon 2. Okay, following me, guys? So, big A, let me make this smaller. So big A, little a. Big B, little b. Okay, I have the potential for big A. That represents 1 potential cross. And then I have big A to little a, okay, that's 1. Big A, 2. Big B, that's 2. Then I have big A, 2. Little b, that's 3. Okay, I'm going to delete all these. Boom. Then I have little a, 2, big B, that's 4. Then I have little a, 2, little b, that's 5. Look how crappy my handwriting is with my finger, guys. These things are crazy, crazy difficult. Right, so that's 4. From big A, little a to little b, that's 5. And then you got big B, little b. That's 6. So the 2 original parents and 4 new possible outcomes. But what I've noticed, which is strange, is that there's always just one outcome. Who knows what it is or what even happens to everything else that was on there? There's got to be mons floating around then, right? This doesn't happen every time, but most of the time I'm left with one fucking isolate, you guys, and I do not understand how it's happening. But I have also had several different varieties actually clamp and do their thing on one when I'm smashing two dikaryons, aka 4 monokaryons, 2 monokaryotized dikaryons. Anyways, yeah, it's a little bit of a mind screw, but hope you guys learned something. See here, the sectors, that represents a new cross, as it was pulled from a dikaryon also. So, hope that this benefits some of you. If you guys want to go ahead and try, you can mix a 10% nutrient liquid culture. You don't need to hit me up and ask me questions about the recipe. Whatever your normal liquid culture recipe is, if you don't make liquid culture ever, jump on Google, find the average liquid culture recipe, and cut that back to 10% on the nutrients, and go ahead and inoculate it with a very small piece of mycelium from your favorite isolate. Stir that for 5 minutes on a stir plate every day for 2 weeks. Then you're going to draw up a couple cc's with your syringe, put a 27 gauge needle on the end of that syringe, and streak the plate just like I do in the video that I posted a couple weeks before I post this one. So yeah, with that said, much love, guys. Have an awesome day, week, month, and the rest of the year. Peace out.